Hello, everybody. This is Dale Schweeman with the Schwee Today's topic is DL Hughleys. Title is DL Hughley, You Are Wrong. I want to talk about the subject that DL Hughley brought up on CNN when he made the comment, white men don't get to decide what's racist. All right, you made your point or you made your statement. My rebuttal to that in simplicity is if white men can't decide what's racist, then how can they be called racist? If they're not, if they're incapable of deciding if something is racist, then the behavior that they do and the things that they say should not be held against them. All right. My statements that I just said are false because any person, white, black, male, female, Hispanic, or of any race of life, gender of life, walk of life, should be held accountable for their words and their actions and their behaviors. Okay, that said, DL Hughley, you make a huge living off racism. You're a comedian. Comedians do real good with racial humor. Okay, had it not been for our racial divide, you would not be living the lifestyle you're living right now as comfortably as you are. For you to talk about white people can't decide what's racist, your comedy would not be comedy. Okay? And for you to make the blanket statements that you made puts you right back in the same category that you were saying white people are. You made the comments that people were ignorant of the behaviors and the thoughts and the process they were going through during the Jim Crow, during the slavery, all those times. Well, guess what? During our current times, the statements you made put you in that same category because you're not recognizing that in order to have a society that works well together, we can't have any one type of people. We need one group or category of people, whether they be white males, black males, white or black females, or the Hispanics. No one category of people can deem themselves as being only the right ones and having only the right mindset. To be able to say that only the black community gets to decide what is racist is in the same mindset as the Jim Crow people and the Jim Crow times and the KKK that say that only we as white people were able to decide what was best for all the people in the country. So DL Hughley, I call you out. And everybody else who's riding on your coattails, I call you out. When you start thinking that only the black community has a lock on anything, then you are putting yourself in the exact same mindset as the very people that you are condemning for having those thoughts and having that mindset. Jim Crow was wrong at the time. Jim Crow is wrong now. It doesn't matter what color the person who's doing the Jim Crow is. Racism is racism. The definition of racism, whether you want to go by the dictionary definition or the common sense definition, is when you do wrong against somebody else or set them aside or categorize them specifically with characteristics and behaviors and stereotypes specifically because of their race. DL Hughley, you've done that. So therefore, you have committed an act of racism in and of yourself on that interview with CNN when you said white men can't decide what's racist in this country. And I'll go right back to what I said to start with. If a white man can't decide what's racist in this country, then you can't hold him accountable for violating racist rules because he doesn't know what it is by your own verbal point. Okay, with that, I'm going to say the race issues in our country are a problem. The question is, are they getting better? Are they getting worse? Are they making any change one way or the other? Is it healthy? The answer to all those is no. We're having huge problems. We're finding new ways to create racial problems. As soon as we get one thing understood, we find another way to create a racist problem. Everything always seems to be an issue with race. And what I have to say on that is anybody, I don't care who you are, anybody who looks at another person and the first thing that pops in their mind is that's a white person or that's a black person, if the first thing that pops in their mind is based on the color of their skin, you can already tell you yourself that you've got racist tendencies, you've got racist mindsets, you've got racist beliefs, and you've got racist practice. When you talk to your friends and when you're describing a story and you want to tell them about the things that are going on in your life, and you described your other friends while you're telling the story as you went to the store with your white friend or you went to the store with your black friend, but you only put that color description on an individual who is a different color than yourself, then you are a racist. Here's my example, specific example, so it's not confusing. If I tell my friend that, hey, if I'm telling a story and I said I'm out playing basketball with my friends and we played for several hours, we changed up teams, we had a real good time. Then after the game, I walked down to the store to pick up some drinks with my white friend. And then we went back to the house and we all chilled. And I sat with my girlfriend. And then later on that night, I went out with my white girl. I'm practicing racial tendencies because I'm seeing people, my friends, specifically based, and I'm going to describe them based on the color of their skin. That's a racist practice because now I see one friend just as a friend and the other friend is a friend based on what color they are. Another example, I do have an individual who's in my circle of friends. He adamantly says he's not racist. He had some work done on his yard. He had some, and I asked him, well, who'd you have do it? He said, I don't know, some Mexican. I'm sorry. That Mexican has a name, or his company has a name. But to just label him out as a Mexican doing the work, that's a racist statement. So that tells me my individual who tells me he's not racist is racist because he's going to use the very terms he doesn't like put on him or his friends in his social work. He will turn around and use it to describe others. Okay, DL Hughleys, I've said it. You are wrong for what you said. You are wrong for the way you think of it. And you're wrong for the way you even presented it on that show. White people can decide what's racist. White people need to decide and understand what's racist. Because if you can't decide and you can't understand it, then you cannot be held responsible or accountable for any behaviors that you may have. DL Hughleys, you make a lot of money based off racist jokes. So you should not be one complaining about racism. This is Dale Schweeman with the Schwee View. Thank you.